10 Hidden Female Weaknesses Every Man Should Know. Every woman possesses a concealed trigger that can lead her to completely lose her composure in the presence of the right man, and surprisingly, many men remain oblivious to this fact. If you find this intriguing, I encourage you to like the video now, as what I am about to share will truly astonish you. Make sure to stay tuned, especially for the last 4 points, which are the real game changers. Believe me, you won't want to miss them. Women often project an image of having everything under control. They appear strong, self-sufficient, and seemingly unaffected by the men around them. However, the reality is that every woman, regardless of how confident she may seem, harbors her own set of hidden vulnerabilities that can lead her to feel completely enchanted by the right man. These vulnerabilities are not the typical aspects you might encounter in standard dating advice. Rather, they are profound psychological triggers that can cause her defenses to dissolve. Most men are completely unaware that these vulnerabilities exist. Attraction is not solely based on physical appearance, wealth, or social status. It fundamentally revolves around understanding psychology. Once you learn how to tap into these triggers, women will not only be interested in you but will also genuinely yearn for your presence. Let's dive into the first point, the power of touch. Many men are unaware of how significant this can be, but once you grasp it, you will notice immediate changes in how women respond to you. If this sounds appealing, please take a moment to like the video. It's a small action that can lead to substantial results. Have you ever wondered why a woman might dismiss a man's sweet words yet become completely captivated by a simple touch? Attraction transcends mere mental engagement. It is deeply embedded in our biology. Even the most independent woman struggles to maintain her composure when a man knows how to use touch effectively. Research published in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships indicates that touch can elevate oxytocin levels in women, fostering feelings of trust, comfort, and most importantly, desire. This explains why she may feel uncertain about a man, but when he gently places his hand on her lower back as they navigate through a doorway, her perspective begins to shift. This interaction is subtle, primal, and often overlooked by many men. Touch can bypass logical reasoning. A woman might convince herself that she is not interested, yet a simple touch on her wrist, the small of her back, or her knee can trigger an emotional response that she cannot ignore. It creates a sense of anticipation. The key is not to maintain constant contact but to be sporadic, intentional, and measured in your approach. When a man playfully engages her senses through touch, she finds herself wanting more, creating a subconscious attraction. When a man confidently employs touch, she begins to associate him with strength, security, and charisma. Consider the archetypal bad boy. He doesn't merely sit across from her at dinner. Instead, he casually touches her hand to emphasize a point, leans in while speaking, and effortlessly brushes her hair aside as if it were second nature. In that moment, she is not just hearing his words, she is experiencing his presence. Now let's move on to the second point, the allure of being unattainable. There is a curious truth about attraction. People often desire what they cannot have. For some reason, a woman may overlook the man who showers her with attention, yet find herself irresistibly drawn to the one who maintains an air of mystery. There is something inherently intriguing about uncertainty, and when another woman expresses interest in a man, his desirability seems to increase dramatically. It's as if he has transformed into a rare commodity. Psychologist Robert Cialdini refers to this phenomenon as the scarcity principle, which suggests that the less available something is, the more we crave it. This principle is fascinating and consistently proves effective. Have you ever found yourself playing hard to get, whether intentionally or not? When it comes to attraction, the way women respond can vary significantly. I invite you to share your thoughts in the comments, and I will make it a point to respond to the first 50 comments. In the realm of attraction, there exists a principle that can truly transform the dynamics. If a man is always present, he may be taken for granted. However, if he introduces an element of unpredictability into his behavior, he suddenly becomes someone worth pursuing. The mere suggestion that he might not always be around can ignite a desire in women to hold on more tightly. On the other hand, a man who is perpetually chasing after a woman may come across as someone who lacks other interests or options. In contrast, when he leads a life filled with engaging activities and passions, he earns her respect. By being selective and treating her as more than just another option, but rather as the ultimate prize, he may inspire her to put in more effort to prove her uniqueness. Moreover, there is a significant impact that comes from the ability to walk away. When a man demonstrates that he is willing to leave, it can enhance his perceived value. This shift raises the stakes in the relationship, which can make a substantial difference in how attraction develops. Now let's delve into why women often find themselves drawn to the emotional ups and downs of relationships. This may be a bit uncomfortable to acknowledge, but it's a reality. Comfort can diminish attraction. If this resonates with you, feel free to like the video, as we are about to explore some fascinating insights. Many men believe that women prioritize stability, calmness, and routine, which are indeed important for long-term relationships. However, there's an intriguing twist. Women also thrive on emotional highs and lows. When a relationship becomes too comfortable, it can start to feel monotonous, leading women to seek excitement elsewhere. The key to avoiding this pitfall lies in understanding that emotional contrast is essential. Psychologists have found that dopamine levels increase when emotions fluctuate between highs and lows. This is why women often find themselves attracted to men who are unpredictable. Although they may not openly admit it, the thrill of uncertainty can be far more exhilarating than a predictable routine. If a man is too consistent, she may begin to lose interest, but if he keeps her guessing, he occupies her thoughts. Consider the relationships that tend to keep women most engaged. The man who disappears for a day only to return as if nothing happened, the one who can make her laugh one moment and challenge her the next, or the guy who isn't an open book. These men are not merely playing games. They understand that excessive comfort can stifle attraction. As the renowned seduction expert Robert Greene wisely stated, it's crucial to balance presence and absence. Too much presence makes a man predictable, while too much absence can cause him to lose his edge. A woman's feelings are often more influential in driving her attraction than logic, and when a man knows how to create excitement through unpredictability and emotional contrast, he becomes irresistible. Lastly, let's explore the psychological effects of a man's voice on women. A woman's ears are as sensitive as her sense of touch. The way a man speaks, his deep voice, the pauses he takes before completing a thought, can seep into her subconscious, influencing her in ways she may not even be aware of. It's not just about being attractive. A deep, measured voice conveys authority, signaling dominance and confidence, which instinctively draws women in. This isn't mere conjecture. Research from the University of Aberdeen has shown that women are more attracted to men with lower-pitched voices, associating them with confidence and superior genetics. However, it's not solely about the pitch. The rhythm of speech matters too. Speaking too quickly can make a man appear anxious, while a slow drawl might come off as uncertain. In contrast, a man who communicates with intention and purpose captures attention and respect. Sometimes, without her even realizing it, a man can subtly influence a woman's perception of him. Let's conduct a little experiment. Have you ever tried lowering your voice when speaking to a woman to observe her reaction? Did it work? Share your experiences in the comments, and the stoic mindset will respond to yours. Consider those iconic movie scenes where a man effortlessly captivates a woman. He doesn't rush, he doesn't stumble over his words. Every word is carefully chosen to leave a lasting impact. That's what keeps a woman fascinated by a man's voice. Here's the twist. It's not just about sounding good, it's about knowing when to stay quiet. A pause before you speak can make her hang on your every word, and that anticipation, that's where the magic happens. Now, let's talk about the jealousy trigger. When it comes to attraction, it's not just about finding someone appealing, it's about that spark of competition. A woman might like a guy, but if she notices other women taking an interest, that's when her desire really kicks into gear. This taps into something deep inside women. They are naturally drawn to men who seem high value, and a high-value guy is often the one everyone wants. Think about it. Celebrities, athletes, and powerful figures never seem to have trouble attracting attention. It's not just one person interested in them, it's a crowd. That kind of social proof is magnetic. Let's be real. Have you ever noticed how, as soon as a guy gets a girlfriend, suddenly other women start paying attention to him? It's like he leveled up overnight. If you've seen this happen, go ahead and like the video because this next part gets even crazier. A guy who focuses solely on one woman might believe he's being loyal, but she might see it as a sign that he doesn't have other options. In the world of attraction, having no options can translate to having no value. On the flip side, a man who other women admire is the one she can't get out of her mind. This isn't about playing games or being manipulative. It's about understanding what makes people tick. If a woman feels she's the only one in the picture, she might think she's got all the control. But as soon as she senses she could lose him to someone else, that's when she starts to chase. Women don't just want a great guy. They want a guy other women want too. If a man can subtly show he's in demand without coming off as arrogant or needy, he'll always have the edge. Alright, if you're still here, that tells me one thing: you're serious about leveling up, and the Stoic mindset respects that. But here's the thing: the next 5 points are where things get really interesting. So stay tuned because what's coming next will change the way you see attraction forever. Next up, let's explore why tension makes women crave you. Be honest, have you ever noticed that the second you stop texting her first, she suddenly starts hitting you up? It's not magic, it's tension. Tell me in the comments, have you ever held back just a little and watched her chase? Drop your story below, and I'll be replying to the best ones. A lot of guys tend to hurry things along. They get a little too fired up, wanting to make things official before the sparks really had a chance to catch. They spill their feelings too early, rush into commitments, and strip away all the mystery. But here's the deal: nothing douses a woman's desire quicker than a man who's too easy to get. Imagine this scenario: you've been talking to a woman for a while, and you've both been enjoying the conversation. You've been flirting, and she seems interested. But then, you start to feel like you need to make a move, so you rush things. You tell her how you feel, you ask her out on a date, and you try to make things official. But what happens next? She might pull back, she might lose interest, or she might even ghost you. Why? Because you've taken away the mystery, the tension, and the anticipation. You've made it too easy for her to have you, and that's not attractive. Women want a challenge. They want to feel like they have to work for it, and they want to feel like they could lose you at any moment. So, if you want to keep her interested, if you want to keep her chasing you, you need to create that tension. You need to make her work for it. You need to make her feel like she could lose you at any moment. And that's how you keep her interested, that's how you keep her chasing, and that's how you keep her wanting more. Consider what elements make a film truly captivating: the gradual build-up, the suspense, and the anticipation. These are the very aspects that draw women in when it comes to attraction. Women often require the opportunity to ponder, to question, and to experience a sense of uncertainty. When a man eliminates that element of doubt, her interest may begin to fade. This is precisely why men who possess the ability to flirt, tease, and maintain a certain level of restraint are the ones who truly enchant women. They cultivate a sense of pursuit, allowing her to feel as though she is earning his attention rather than simply receiving it on demand. When a man takes his time, whether through engaging conversation, gentle touches, or the overall pace of the relationship, he taps into a woman's intrinsic desire for something that feels just out of reach. This dynamic is what keeps her coming back for more. Attraction extends far beyond mere physical appearance. It encompasses the narrative a man can weave in a woman's imagination. Women do not simply fall for men, they become enamored with the feelings these men evoke, even in their absence. The reason some women become infatuated with certain men is not solely based on wealth, power, or looks. Instead, it often stems from how these men ignite their imagination, leaving just enough mystery for a woman's mind to fill in the gaps. Consider why women often swoon over celebrities. It's not because they have personal connections with them, but rather due to the allure and intrigue that keeps them engaged. An ordinary man can evoke a similar response if he adheres to one essential principle: avoid revealing everything about himself too quickly. Many men tend to over-explain, answer every question in detail, and share every thought. While being transparent can help foster a connection, the reality is that women are instinctively attracted to what remains elusive. Let's be honest, gentlemen, some of you have found yourselves texting women your entire life story as if it were an autobiography. Take a step back and maintain a bit of mystery. If you've ever shared too much information too soon, give a thumbs up because we've all experienced that. When a man retains an air of mystery, a hint of playfulness, and doesn't allow her to decipher him too quickly, he becomes a figure she can't stop thinking about. A man who inspires a woman's imagination becomes unforgettable. The true enchantment lies not in what he articulates, but in what he chooses to leave unsaid. Now, let's talk about the leadership effect. How many of you have encountered the classic scenario where you ask a woman, "What do you want to do?" only to be met with the response, "I don't know, what do you want to do?" and then find yourself stuck in indecision for half an hour? If this has happened to you, drop a comment below. Many of us can relate to this experience. While women may express a desire for an equal partner, their instincts often yearn for a leader. Not a tyrant or a control freak, but someone who can make decisions with confidence and assurance. Attraction is not merely an emotional experience, it is deeply rooted in biological instincts. Nothing ignites that primal urge quite like a man who takes charge. This is why dominant men frequently appear in women's fantasies and why women might present subtle challenges to gauge a man's ability to handle pressure. The moment a man begins to seek her approval, her interest can start to diminish. A self-assured man doesn't constantly ask, "What do you want to do?" Instead, he confidently states, "Let's do this." He is decisive, self-assured, and ready to take action without hesitation. Women naturally respond to that kind of confidence. When it comes to attracting women, men who constantly seek approval or defer all decisions to their partners might appear charming, but they often struggle to ignite genuine passion. A woman may sense hesitation and begin to withdraw, whereas a man who exudes confidence tends to earn her trust, respect, and ultimately, desire. For instance, imagine two scenarios. In the first, a man is uncertain about a decision, causing her to question his reliability. In the second, he confidently takes charge, making her feel secure and valued. It's the latter scenario that typically fosters deeper feelings. Many people talk about the allure of a stable, predictable relationship. However, the truth is that many women are captivated by the intense emotional experiences a man can create. It's not merely about logical reasoning, it's about the thrilling emotions that make her heart race and keep her engaged. Consider the men who take women on an emotional journey filled with excitement, jealousy, surprises, and even some uncertainty. These elements fuel a connection much like the thrill of a roller coaster or the excitement of a gamble. The man who can evoke such intense feelings is often irresistible to women. While a dependable, steady partner may earn respect, it's the man who adds spice to the relationship, teasing her, keeping her guessing, and challenging her, that holds her interest. Women are driven by their emotions, and the man who can keep those emotions vibrant will have a lasting impact on their lives. Think of it as nurturing a fire. Once it starts, it's hard to extinguish. Feeling protected is another crucial aspect of attraction. Despite living in a world that celebrates independence, many women still crave a partner who makes them feel safe and loved. This isn't about control or ownership. It's about meeting a fundamental need for a balance between strength and security. Women thrive when they can embrace their femininity, but they can only do so when they're with a man who embodies strong, confident masculinity. When a man projects confidence through his posture, speech, and outlook, it allows a woman to let her guard down and connect on a deeper level. A man who appears unsure or timid can't provide this comfort, but one who is self-assured and sets clear boundaries can create a space where she feels both challenged and cherished. Now that you understand these principles, it's time to apply them. Be the man who stands out, who genuinely connects with her on an emotional level. If you've read this far, you're already ahead of most men who don't invest time in understanding these dynamics. Respecting and embodying a strong, confident mindset is key to success. If you found value in this advice, consider subscribing to stay informed about future insights. Stay sharp, stay aware, and I'll see you in the next one.